Alright everyone, this lesson I just want to show you some circle features. So in the previous lesson we talked about angles, right? But this time we're looking at a circle, and inside a circle there are some common circle features that you do need to know for the future lessons. So let's draw a circle first. That's an ugly circle. Alright, so that's a pretty good circle. From the circle, the most important thing that you do need to know is the point that's right in the middle. Alright, we call this point is the center of the circle. And then any line that passing through that center of the circle is called the diameter of the circle. Alright, so the line that passes through the center of the circle is called the diameter of the circle. And I have to apologize, this is not really the center right now. So let me just change that, okay? And I'm going to just put a little dot here. Alright, so we call a line that passes through the center of the circle is the diameter. Alright, now if we half of that intervals, and that becomes the radius of the circle. And that's another name you need to know it. Starting from the center of the circle and then go all the way to the circumference of the circle is called the radius of the circle. Oops. Alright, then the next one that you do need to know is the section that the radius or the radius and the arc that create. So for example, if I'm looking at this region here, what is the name of this region? Well, we call that, well, it's a slice of pizza, it's a slice of cake, but the proper term of this is called a sector. And also because this is less than a semicircle, so we can also call that a minor sector. Right, a sector or a minor sector. If it's more than a semicircle, then we call that as a major sector. So this is a minor sector. All right, now what else we need to know? How about if we connect 2 points? 2 points. So the first point is here, the second point is there. If we just connect 2 points on the circumference of the circle, and what is the name of that? All right, what is the name of that interval? Now we call that interval a chord. So a chord is just a line interval drawing 2 points on the circle. So we've got 2 points on a circle and we just join them together, and it's called a chord. All right. Now, a very interesting part is we can find a little region that's created by the chord and an arc. And this region, or this little section here, is called a segment, which is different to a sector. All right, it's called a segment because it's less than a semicircle, so therefore we call that a minor segment. All right, then we can have a major segment, which is greater than a semicircle. All right, so the next one I'd like to show you is something I've always mentioned all the time, and we call that arc. So for example, an arc is just any 2 points on the circumference of a circle, and then we just join them together. All right, and we just call this is part of the circle, and in this case, we call this is an arc. But because this is less than a half of a circle, so we can call that a minor arc. Then we can have a major arc on the other side, okay? A major arc is more than a semicircle. All right, so let me just write down a definition. I hope you can also write down a definition as well. All right, so we'll start with the point, which is the center. Let's just use different color here. And we call this is the center. All right, so the center here is, and the center is a point at an equal distance from all points on the circle. So every point on the circumference of a circle is equal, all right, distance from the center to the point on the circumference of the circle. All right, so that's the first definition that's really important. All right, so the next one is the radius. Alright, so what is the definition of a radius? A radius is a line interval drawing the center to the point on the circle. So it's a line interval drawing the center to a point or to any point on the circumference of the circle or simply on the circle. All right, that's what a radius is. All right, so the next one is, let's just call that diameter. So the diameter is pretty easy, just 2 times the radius or double the radius. So what is the diameter? Well, a diameter is just the longest chord passing through the center, all right? The longest chord. Or we can say it's a line interval that passes through the center of the circle, but the proper definition is the longest chord passing through the center of the circle. All right, next, a chord. What is a chord? So a chord is here, and what is the definition of a chord? So a chord is a line interval drawing any point, or any 2 points on the circle. All right, so a line interval that join any 2 points or 2 points on the circle. So any 2 points. All right, so next we're going to move on to an arc. All right, so what's the definition of an arc? An arc is just a part of a circle, or I would say a part of the circumference of the circle. All right, it's not a full circumference, but just part of it, part of the circumference. All right, so the next one is a sector, either minor sector or major sector. What is the definition of a sector? All right, so a sector is just a region bounded by the 2 radii and an arc. So bounded by 2 radii and an arc. Now, what is a radii? Well, it's a plural of radius. Okay. All right. So the last one is a segment. What is a segment? Well, a segment is just a region that bounded by the chord and an arc. So it's a region bounded by a chord and an arc. All right, so this is all you need to do is to understand those definitions about the features of a circle. Now, there's one more feature I'd like to talk about before we finish the lesson today. All right, so that feature is what happens if we have a line that just touches the circle at one point, all right? Just touch the circle at one single point. All right, so what do we call that line, and what is the name of that line? All right, so say, for example, if we, let me just increase this one. All right, so I'm just going to draw a line that just touch the circle at one point. All right, oops, that doesn't really touch the circle at one point. Actually intersect the circle at 2 points. So that's not right. That's not what I want to show you. All right, so, but that's a good example. We call that a secant. It's just a line that just crossed the circle. All right, so it's not an example I want to show you. Let me just use a different color here. And hopefully this time I can show you an example. All right, how about we use a red color? And we'll just draw a line that touches the circle at 1 point. Yes. So just 1 point, okay? All right, now we call that line the tangent. All right, a tangent to a circle is a line that touches the circle at a point, at only 1 point, and it's also 90 degrees to the radius, okay? So that's a tangent. And if we connect the tangent with the radius, connect the tangent with the center, then you can see that's a right angle. So that's the definition of a tangent. Okay, so let me just write down the definition of a tangent here. It's pretty important. Tangent is just a tangent to a circle All right, tangent to the circle is a line that touches the circle at only one point, all right, at a point. And remember, only one point. And is 90 degrees or perpendicular to the radius. All right, so I'm just going to show you one more time. You've got a circle, and you just have a line that just touches the circle at one point. So here's a tangent. Here's another tangent, and we can have another tangent. All right, so we can have an infinite number of tangents as long as the line touches the circle at one point. However, if I draw in those tangents to the center, you can see 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Here's another 90 degrees, another 90 degrees. So the radius is actually perpendicular to the tangent. All right, so that's all I want to teach you this lesson. It's all about the circle features. You do need to know the name and the definition of each part of the circle. All right, so make sure you memorize those features here. Thank you.